also known as Dragonfly7673. You're watching DragonflySoars, and I am recording this on Monday, October 1st, and the title is October already, because I cannot believe how fast the last couple months have flown, and I think this month is going to fly just as fast. In fact, I'm going to see my parents this week, and my son, and I'm going to be driving to their house Wednesday and staying there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, coming back Sunday. Friday I get to meet his new teacher and take him to the chiropractor, and Saturday we're supposed to be going to a movie, so it should just be a nice time. Next weekend, best friend and I'm going to leave the cats at my parents' house, which I will explain in a little bit. Then next weekend, since the cats are going to be at my parents' house, we're going to, best friend and I are going to try and do the flooring on the downstairs level. That's the plan anyway. In fact, he is out right now shopping for a couple supplies to get the ceramic tile up. Because while I'm at my parents' house, he's going to try getting some of the tile up and see how bad it is. Knowing him, he'll probably do most of it, and then we won't have to worry about the following weekend. So, this coming weekend, I'm at my parents'. Next weekend, flooring. Next weekend, Rhinebeck. If you're going to Rhinebeck and you see me, let me know. Say hi, and I will have buttons with me. So make sure you stop, say hi, ask me for a button. I will try to remember to just offer buttons, but if I don't, just ask. Then Rhinebeck is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I come back Sunday night and about 10 p.m. Monday, I'm flying out of O'Hare to go to Switzerland again. That was a surprise to me. I just found that out a couple days ago. So apparently I'm going to Switzerland for a week. I'm working there because you fly out Monday, but you actually land Tuesday. So I'm working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm staying Saturday just to wander around. Hopefully the weather is much better this trip and I can actually just wander and enjoy myself. And go to the yarn shop, wander around, find the Starbucks. I don't have to find it, I know where it is. Anyway, and then Sunday I will be flying back. I leave about 1 p.m. and I land in O'Hare about 5 p.m. So, and then it's a couple hours back to home. So, and I will probably take that Monday off just because. So, originally I was going to have to basically fly to Switzerland on my way back from Rhinebeck. Like, our Rhinebeck trip is a 2-leg jump. I am talking with my hands a lot more today. Our trip we fly out of Albany, and we go Albany, Newark, Milwaukee. Well, for a while it looked like I was going to have to go Albany, Newark, Zurich, Switzerland, Milwaukee, which was going to be a hell of a trip. Big layover. So, but anyway, my manager worked it out so I could come home because I was trying to figure out how I was going to pack and bring stuff back from Rhinebeck, which many people volunteered. I could mail it back. I could keep it at Laritza of the Yorkset Arts and Crafts Etsy shop said that I could, keep it with her until I got back and she would ship it. My friends from my knit group here are like, I could give it to them and they would make sure that I had it. So I had all sorts of ways, but I would rather do it this way and get a chance to come home. So, speaking of Laritza of the Yorkset Etsy shop, she was mentioning that she never gets to see the podcast hardly anymore because she normally watches it on her Android tablet. I don't know what kind she has. But apparently Blip stopped working on it very well. And a couple other people have been complaining that Android and Blip are not working very well lately. You have to like get some other apps and then find the iTunes RSS feed, and apparently it's a real pain. And she asked if I ever put them on YouTube. And I recently had another friend, Kelly, who had also asked about putting them on YouTube because she has I think it's a Roku box. Anyway, and she can get the YouTube channels, but she can't get, there was nothing for Blip. So, I put the last 5 episodes up on YouTube. And I will put this one on YouTube. And I think from now on I will cross-post over to YouTube. So if you're... Hi, little Missy girl. She wants to be part of the action. If you're on the blog, there is a Watch Me on YouTube button on the right side. I think it's basically if you look up Dragonfly 7673, you should find me. Or I think if you look up DragonflySoars, you'll at least find the tutorials. I think you find the episodes too. Now, on my iPhone, I have a YouTube app now that YouTube is no longer part of the operating system on Apple devices. So, and I noticed that there was a delay. That app didn't pick up the new shows in real time. Like, they were up on the website, but they weren't in the app yet. But when I went back to check a couple days later, they were there. I don't know how fast that happened. So I don't know if there's a delay if you're on a Roku box or an Android or something like that. But at least you have another option, because I hate I mean, we're not a very big podcast, but I hate the idea of losing viewers because you can't, because Blip and Android aren't playing nicely, or Blip and Roku, or whatever you're using. So if it makes life easier to put them on YouTube, I will do so. I wasn't planning on going back further than that. Like I said, I did the last 5, and from today forward, I will start cross-posting. The one thing I did have is that because I put commercial songs at the end sometimes when I do the montages, I did periodically have to mark something saying, yes, I recognize that I don't own the copyright, but it didn't seem to affect anything. It said it didn't give me a warning. It said your account is still in good standing. You just need to check this little box. So I did. I don't know if I will limit the music I do or not. I guess it depends on, I mean, I'm obviously not claiming it for myself. So we'll see. I'd hate to put something together and then find out that, that one doesn't allow it. So we'll find out. Anyway, we've been doing enough talking. Oh, and you haven't seen it knitting, but you've seen it Missy. All right. I did work on the Everlasting Love shawl. In fact, I have it right here. I'm not going to show you the shawl because I did 4 rows. So 2 pattern rows, 2 plain rows. Trust me, it doesn't look any different. The ball is getting significantly smaller though. So I found the other skein. Because for a while I was thinking, wow, I've got a lot of yarn left. And now suddenly I'm going, oh, maybe I will need that other ball. I have finished 144 rows out of 200. So that is progressing slowly. I didn't work on it as much. Last week I was sick 2 days. I mean, I actually went to work Wednesday, decided that I really didn't feel good. And everybody was kind of complaining I didn't look very good. So I turned around, went back home. I was going to check in with work, and I crashed and fell asleep most of the day. Thursday, I emailed and said, I still don't feel good. In fact, I actually felt worse on Thursday. I will try and check in, and my manager said, no, don't check in, just rest. So, which is good. And then Friday, I went back to work, but I kind of took a short day. I had my annual physical that day anyway. So I went to work, came back, had my annual physical, left again. Anyway, so I didn't work on hardly anything. Wednesday and Thursday, I basically did nothing because I mean, the idea of trying to knit was just too much. Now, when I went to my physical, I had the twitchy socks, which I realized going to my physical is not going to the movies, but considering how much I had to sit and wait for different things for the lab or the whatever, I ended up working on these. So, the twitchy socks were in this pink section the last time you saw them, and between the doctor's office, Saturday I took best friend to the acupuncturist, which apparently after they stick needles in you, you have to sit there for 45 minutes doing nothing. So I was very glad that I had something to do. I also ended up, his acupuncturist is also a good friend of his, so I got to sit and talk to him for quite a while because he didn't have any patients at that time. So, and then we went to see Looper yesterday. So I got from this section to where it is now done in the last week. And a little bit at Kohl's department store waiting for best friend to find pants to wear. He needed dress pants that would fit over his knee brace. So, that was work done. I worked a little bit on, I kind of spread things out. I worked a little bit on the Harvest Dew socks. They are about one repeat away from being ready for the heel. So I've been doing the gusset increases, and they're about one repeat away from starting the heel. So I think one. I need to actually count. So I worked on those, but they don't look like I did much on them. Now, what I did do this week, when I was finally feeling better, anytime I was home, which was not as much as I thought it was going to be, I worked on this. This was one of the prizes for the Susan G. Komen. Michelle, or Knit a Little, from the Three Stitches podcast, the ones that are doing the Wrapped in Stitches Preemie Blanket Drive, she won this fiber, and it looked like it was this one. It's fine fibers. It was hand dyed. It's specifically hand dyed for the Cat and the Crow yarn shop in Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. I looked. I don't see any way to get it online unless you contact them. It is 50% wool, 50% soy silk. It is soft. It's drafting really nicely. So, I mean, most of my spinning has been very consistent, very thin. I'm going to Navajo ply it. There were 2 braids. The first braid was 2 ounces. The second braid was 1.8 ounces. This is the first braid. I'm actually going to just continue on and do the second braid all on this bobbin. And then I'm going to Navajo ply the whole thing. Michelle said that whatever I did was good with her, so there's that. Now, I got the first 2 ounces done. Hopefully, if processing doesn't take long tonight, I will do a little bit of spinning tonight and spin tomorrow night, but I cannot take the wheel with me to my parents' house, so it won't get worked on again until probably Sunday. So, I would suspect maybe the singles will be done next recording, but I can't promise anything. There was another fiber in there that Meredith won, but she actually does spindle spinning, so she said she would take hers and do it herself. So she took the roving. And Rain Lover, Sarah, won the fiber from Helena, Willow Fairy, of Willow Fairy Knits, And so they're working together because I think Helena's going to end up spinning for Sarah, but Helena also just bought a house, so they just got approved a couple days ago, and so I suspect there will be some timing things in there, but they're working that out themselves. All other prizes were shipped out, and in fact some of them started being delivered today. There were 2 winners that were in Australia, so I don't have tracking for those 2. And then Lynn from Madison, I don't have tracking for hers because I was originally thinking that maybe I would meet up with her and give it to her in person. So when I did all my shipping labels, I didn't include her. And then it turned out that she wasn't going to be able to the day I was in Madison, so I shipped hers from the post office, but they don't put tracking on first class, even though online through PayPal I could do tracking through first class. So anyway, I have a post office app in my phone, and a lot of them were several of them are green, saying that they've been delivered. Lots of them are green. And some of them are in transit, so like going to be delivered, but I would suspect that everybody will have them today or tomorrow. I would think. Let me know when you get your prize, because I am trying to keep track of who receives theirs, so I know that nobody's missing. Alright, other things this week. I bought these from an Etsy shop called She Knits for Knitters. This is I got 2 different sizes. This is a bead feeder. So, there's a little curve, little stopper on this end. You can see the one little sample bead. When you take the stopper out, there's actually a little tiny crochet hook on this side. This is for lace knitting with beads. So this one is for size 8 beads, and this one's for size 8 and one's for size 6, and right now I cannot remember whether 8 is actually bigger or smaller. But anyway, so there's a YouTube video that I will link in the show notes. You poke through the beads, you load this up. So you put like 50 beads on here. And you put the stopper back on. And you can now carry this with your project. The stopper got stuck on my hand. When you are ready to actually do a bead, pretend this is a stitch. You hook it on this is the wrong size yarn. You hook it on, and slide the bead on. Keeping in mind, wrong size. So, it works just like the crochet hook method. The same thing, except for the fact that you can put lots of beads on here, and you can carry it around that way. So, if you use the dental floss method, you may have put several of them on, but eventually they get kind of tangled and the dental floss gets ratty. I prefer the crochet hook method, except for the fact that I don't want to carry the beads around. So this is nice. I believe it was Kagi TM that posted this on Plurk, and I saw it, and I saw the little YouTube video, and was like, oh my god, that is so clever. And now I wish I had a shawl that was going with beads. I even started to look to see if on the Everlasting Love shawl, if there was a place to put beads, and there might be, but it's I don't know. I thought when I looked at the chart, I thought that there might be, but when I looked at the pictures, I went, it won't look good there. So I might have to pick out my next shawl to have beads, just so I can use my new bead knitter. I did get another shawl pattern this week. Allison, who is one of the Australia knitters, she's actually donated money for shipping, which thank you. I won't lie, the shipping was it added up, but thankfully with some of the people who donated money for shipping, Allison and Virginia, and it really helped. So anyway, Allison also sent me a pattern called the Jacobian Square. I'm going to post a picture of it here. So the Jacobian Square is by Sharon Winsauer, and it has dragonflies on it. It also had a knit along with the Knit Companion app on the iPad, and I looked at it. It's a very complex chart and pattern. So I'm interested in, and even though I use Knit Companion, I suspect that sometimes I may not be using it to its full advantage. So I'm interested in following the tutorial and seeing how to do this really complex pattern on Knit Companion. So, and I think it's just beautiful. It's one I've been eyeing up for a while, and I just didn't do it. And Allison sent it as a thank you / congratulations on the walk present, and it was a nice surprise. Other things going on. Oh, I'm going to show you real quick. This fiber right here okay, that was my Upstream Alpacas chocolate rainbow fiber, and the yarn I spun from it. Whenever I use a product from an Etsy seller, I try to add pictures to the feedback, and also send them a note saying, hey, I spun this up, it came out beautiful, thank you very much for such a nice product. Because I think people like to know that you actually use their stuff. Well, she said, hey, you should go over to the Ravelry board and post it, because every month I have a contest amongst people who use the fiber, and you could win a free braid. Well, it turns out that this month only 2 of us entered, and I found out today that I won another braid of Upstream Alpaca, and I was trying to decide today which one I was going to pick, and I was looking at one that is it looks in the braid like a red to black gradient. But I remembered that with the chocolate rainbow, I thought it was a gradient going around, but really it was dyed in the braid. And so it actually went red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, blue, green, yellow. I can't do it backwards very good. Anyway, so I asked her, there was 2 I was looking at. One looked like a red to black gradient, and the other one is just a multicolored. And I asked her, and she said, no, it's actually done in thirds. So, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, I kind of drew this up because I was showing Best Friend. She dyes it in 3 parts, so she lays it out in thirds, and she dyes the top, and then the middle, and then the bottom. So in this case, when you undo it, it's going to go red, burgundy, black, burgundy, red, red, black, or burgundy, black. And I mean, obviously my proportions are all screwy, and I think she had a little bit more variation in the color there, but just to get an idea. And then what she does is she takes this, and then she actually just literally braids it like you would braid hair. If it had been a true gradient where it went purely red, burgundy to black, I would have gotten it because I think it would have made a neat shawl. But since it's going that way, I decided I didn't want that one. Instead, I got one that is, the colorway is called Hazel, and I'm going to show a picture right here. I don't have it yet because I just talked to her today. So that's Hazel. She said she named it after her granddaughter. So that one will be on its way. I ordered another braid, and that one was free, so that doesn't count as anything on my supposed yarn diet. Now, I do have one thing that I bought myself, and it is from Yarn vs. Zombies, and I was hoping it would be here today to show you. It is a braid of Corriedale called Calico Kitty, and it was on sale from $14 to $12, and then 50% goes to the local animal shelter, and so that was why I got that one, and I believe that was through the month of September, which means it doesn't really help you. But actually, no, I don't know today. I didn't look. So anyway, Calico Kitty is coming, but here's a picture of what it'll look like. Okay, so that was a picture of Calico Kitty. Both of those fiber pictures are not mine. They are from the Etsy. They are from the Etsy shop. If I remember, I will put copyright on them. Stop that! Somebody is rolling around my feet and attacking yarn. Let me look at my show notes. I think we're done. Oh no! I have one thing I really want to tell you guys. So one of the prizes was the Perkis sock kit from Knit Picks, and Deb Knits 2 won that. Stop that! She's playing with this. This is my yarn from last week. So the Perkis sock kit was won by Deb Knits 2, and when I went to package everything, I realized that the pattern, which had been mailed, Knit Picks mailed it to Tamsy, and Tamsy did whatever she did, and then it got mailed to me, and I had it kind of stored, and unfortunately I didn't have it stored perfectly great either, but with all the shipping back and forth, it had gotten mangled, and I felt kind of bad using it as a prize. So I looked on Ravelry thinking maybe I could gift the pattern to Deb Knits so that she would have it. Well, I looked, and it's not available as a giftable pattern on Ravelry. It just links over to the Knit Picks site. And on Knit Picks, you can buy and download patterns, but if I bought and downloaded it, it would be on my Knit Picks library, which, if you didn't realize, you do have a Knit Picks library if you do downloadable patterns. It would be on my Knit Picks library, and even though I could save it and email it to Debbie, I didn't want to do that because that would be, even if I wasn't using it, you get into really fuzzy copyright things. So I emailed the designer. Her name is Kaylin Meyer, and I explained what the situation was and said I would really like to gift her this pattern, but I don't see a way to do it. Is there any way I could pay you and you could email her the pattern? And she emailed me. Then it was a couple days, so I had kind of gone, okay. And then she emailed me back very nicely and said, you know what? It's silly to rebuy the pattern considering what you're doing, and here's an electronic copy. Go ahead and send it out. So I just thought that was really sweet. She didn't charge me for it. And she gave me an electronic copy to forward on to Debbie. So I am, in the show notes, I'm linking Kaylin's 2 sites. She's got the Ravelry design page, and then she has 4 patterns for sale on Knit Picks. So both of those are linked in the show notes because I did them earlier today. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of give her kudos and say thank you. Not that she watches this, but I wanted to thank her anyway. So it's nice to be able to share a nice story. Anyway, now I'm done. So I will talk to you guys all later. Bye now.